All right, this is one more probably short video to work on inputs. I want to keep working on the project, but I'm trying to capture it on video, but it slows me down because then I can only do 1 or 2 hours a day. So I'm not sure if I'm going to start doing work that I don't record or how I'm going to deal with it. But for now, I'm going to just keep recording. I'm doing a couple commits here and there just for like minor cleanup things that aren't really important and meta stuff, but let's start capturing input. The point of this is to get rid of the rest of the SDL code in main. Here, let's just look at it. Right here we have an SDL event, and we poll for events. And this is our main loop. But we want to abstract that or encapsulate it really and abstract it out into our own, OS event poll that will just be SDL under the hood, but then we can swap out other backends for it. Just kind of how we're doing with this OS display, present, etc. We're just the OS destroy, display destroy, etc. It's all in the SDL implementation. And if you don't remember, let's just look. This is the implementation, or this is the header file, and the OS display struct. We only use pointers. It's a opaque pointer. Is it still actually technically? Yeah, it's opaque because you can't see it. It's only in the SDL implementation. Here it is right here. So we don't want that leaking out any of the SDL specific stuff. So we're gonna continue on with input. So before we start that, let's look right here. And so this is the setup teardown, but the rest of this stuff is all display related. And since we're going to start having more and more stuff in here, let's do display. This one's this is just what I need right here. So just one sec. All right. So all we're doing is moving that stuff to display. The implementation is still in SDL. So there'll be multiple header files in here, and then whatever implementation file you have needs to implement everything. It might make sense to stick everything, like put everything that needs to be implemented in one place. I'm not opposed to that, but for now we're gonna split it up. The only reason it might make sense to put it in one place is so somebody knows what has to be implemented for an implementation, because some will be in the os.h, display.h, event.h, and so on as it keeps growing. But we're the only users of it right now, so who cares? We'll just keep it split up. All right, so what do we actually need? We need an event type, and then we need a function to poll. So I'm sure we're gonna need type at some point real quick. We're gonna need a type, and then we're gonna need poll. It's gonna take an event, but it's gonna I think that returns an integer, just because, yeah. returns one if there's a pending event or if there's none available. So pending event. We're gonna do it with a boolean, I think, just because it's more explicit. Event poll. We're doing event poll instead of poll event like SDL because we do module noun verb. So the module's OS, the noun is this, and then poll. Just it doesn't matter. You can pick either or. I like this just because it feels like everything's namespaced. And this is actually an out parameter. So just name it as such. And what do we need in here? We're going to need maybe the type of event. Yeah. And then there's going to be a union of data. So let's just create the type. Type dash struct. Oh, maybe enum. And it's what do they call? Oh, what does SDL call? Their quit SDL quit. It seems too global almost. Want like an unknown, just so we can zero it out and it's not set to anything. And then we'll have like mouse events, keyboard events. But let's actually is this all we need to replace what we have though? Like, because we're not doing anything with input, right? Oh, that's because we moved the stuff out of the display, so the import isn't there. Why isn't it importing? Oh. And it doesn't want that. OS event. Okay, it's pretty easy. There's a type, but we don't want STL, we want our event. Is that it? Is there anything else STL in here? Nope. Just get rid of it. I need a vent too. That's just complaining because we haven't used it yet. All right, so let's just, this is the STL implementation file, so it's so we're gonna assert out, and it gets reused every time. So do we want to clear it? Like, do we want a mem set? Just zeroed it out, or what are we doing with that? We reuse it over and over, don't we? I'm actually not sure. If we put it in here, is it scope? Where, yeah, we better just make sure. While loop has its own scope, right? Yeah. I think it does. Yeah, and scopes. What I was trying to say last video. It was just blowing my mind that I couldn't remember. Um, this will probably turn into a switch, but anyway, we're not going to worry about the mem set yet. We can do it a little bit later. What do we need to do? Oh, you know what we actually need to do, I think, is we already got that. We need to do this now in here. Right? Yeah. Because we're just wrapping theirs. Come on. So man, what am I doing? I'm literally copying the wrong stuff. Am I going crazy? Yeah, I need STL stuff, not our stuff. We don't care about that. We don't care about that. And actually, we're going to test it. If it equals 0, then let's just return early. And I think we can switch. Type, maybe? Yeah, see that stuff in there? This is the event, and all of this, we're going to, not all of it, we don't care about a bunch of this, but like button, wheel, key for like the motion, like mouse. I guess these mouse ones here, we don't care about joysticks. Quit event. What is there? A quit event timestamp. Yeah, we don't care about that. So we'll switch, and then a case of SDL quit. We're going to set it to our OS event quit. And we're going to return true because we basically like processed an event. And that way, case. I think the default then would be it's unknown, but which is 0. So if it's the default, but let's explicitly set it right now just because we haven't started zeroing out. Actually, turn fault. We're not even going to use it because should I still? Because we're not even touching the event now, the out event, because returning false, we're telling the code above it that we didn't use it. But I'm going to set it. Yeah, because that's kind of sloppy. I think it'll be better if we just return false, and then this can be built-in trap, maybe unreachable. I don't get to use this very often. There you go. Oh, I wish it didn't happen. Let me just do this now. We don't need to mem. Should we mem set even? I think we should. Because I don't know if we need to do it because we're going to just be polling this. The issue is if we reuse. I was going to only do it if we had an event. So here, mem set it here. But the outer loop that's going to be calling event poll is going to be reusing this out param over and over and over. So if we do have an event that comes through and then we reuse it and then it's false, then the out parameter is still going to have the data from the previous one. So you kind of need to BIM set it every time, or at least do this. Maybe do this. And that way code outside, even if there is data in there, it's all trash data, and then we don't have to BIM set. Unless, I don't know, how fast is an BIM set? Do we want to do it on every? I mean, you're only doing it once a frame. I don't actually know. Because that would, let's just do it. Let's not try to optimize. If it's slow, then we'll just fix it. BIM set. Wait, what's the, I should probably know, but right, linked bytes of value C into, so we're gonna write there where we want to write the value 0, size of what, an event type? It looks right. That's pretty straightforward. Let's just see if it works. I don't know how long ago I built this. All right, well, love stuff that works first try. Still complaining. Oh, we do need it in here. There is an annoying thing. See how it says that I'm not using this directly? We will be soon. This is kind of this warning, though. You get diagnostic warning. The thing is instead of including std bool everywhere, since we include AK types almost everywhere, I'm just importing it here just because it's so common. And then it kind of is just our libraries being, hopefully, over time, it'll be just our libraries being imported everywhere instead of standard libraries. But since it's not using anything directly out of there, it complains. But I think it's worth the complaining, especially since this will get filled in with something soon. Is this actually gonna? Let's stash the working tree just to make sure this change still builds. I just wanted to split out the display separation. Move OS display functionality to. That's right. That one we already looked at. That's right. And the implementation. Is there anything weird in here? I think we're good for now. All right. It's kind of weird because we do have this loop, but quit is quitting all of STL. But I think in the future, will we be when we have like IPC? I don't want to think too far ahead. I'm just wondering, are we going to still send that same signal from our window manager to the window? Yeah, we'll have to figure that out because yeah, it's just some weird layer of abstraction. I just probably won't know until we get there. All right, so let's do some more. What do we want first? Event probably. What's easy? Mouse button. What else is there? Mouse button. Oh, maybe move's the easiest one to do first. I'm just gonna name this U. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it this way. Let's disable the formatter because if we do that, then we can do move. And then is it relative? I wonder if, I don't know if we get relative or absolute. The reason we're doing that, because then we can do, button, wheel. I think it'll look there's some overlap. Maybe we can't then construct these manually or reference that, because it's an anonymous struct, but so we might end up moving them out, but let's just kind of mess around for now. So we've got mouse move. I feel like that something should be blowing up. Oh, good, no, because we have default. No. Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I thought that the events would blow up a switch statement or something, but it's just an if statement. Do we want? Yeah, it cares for right now. Mouse motion. Mouse move. Do we want mouse move or mouse motion? Like mouse move, mouse button, mouse wheel, or would that be mouse scroll? Wheel. I think this is all right for now. Yeah, so then we can do u mouse move dot. Let's find out. Event dot move. No. Motion. Relative to the window. Relative. Oh, to the SDL window. I think that's. Yeah, that's what we would want. Because that gives us the coordinates, the proper coordinates. Turn this into a switch. Because I want it to blow up if we're not handling something. Do we want to handle unknown out here? And we don't need a default because if it's anything that would be default, it's going to come back as unknown. So I think we should, and then we don't have to have a default. Then we can just be exhaustive. For now, we can just break on it. And you could comment in there to find out, put a print statement to find out other events that you're not aware of yet. You'd have to populate, I guess, something. You'd have to populate it inside the poll, which we're not doing because unknown stuff we're just ignoring now. But what do we want to do? Print. What is this? How about mouse position? That's exhaustive, I guess, now. Yeah, 0 0 there, and there should be 799. 599. Can we do it? Oh, ah, I am going to. So it's working. Let's not print though. That'll just make it super slow. Do we need anything else for mouse motion? What else does that event have? We already know the type. We don't care when. We don't care about window ID. Mouse instance. We're not there where we have multiple mice yet. Current button state. I don't think we care on. Do we? Is that how you do dragging for like resizing and stuff? I feel like in games I've always done it a different way where you would do on a button down event, you mark it as down, and then later, if you get a moving event and the button's still down, then that's when you would, consider that like a down move, like for a drag or something, like button down and move. But if you have a state, I wonder if you can determine it without. Then you don't have to have some. I'm going to do it the way I know it for now, but I might revisit that because that is kind of cool. Let's move. Because you might have one for each, or an masked field or something for both buttons, like a U8, which is probably what I assume what they're doing, something like that. But or you could just do like a left and right since mouse stuff's simple. Come here. Use that. I feel like that would be kind of clean, but whatever. Let's not get distracted. I don't want to commit this. Is that it? We got mouse movement events. All right. I think we can just do that because we're gonna have multiple events, and that includes like getting it from SDL, converting it to ours, and returning it. So I'm just gonna. I think that's explicit enough. Let's go to the next one. Mouse wheel, mouse button. What do we want to do? Mouse move, mouse button. Yeah. Do we need X, Y? Or do you do the sorry, I just paused it for a second. I lost my train of thought. Does mouse button need X or Y? Is that what we're doing? Let's see what the event has. It says still mouse button. Oh, do we need to do one for each? Button down. Surely not. No, let's do, can we do this? And then, let's see, type. Can we just consolidate? What data do we got? We do have X and Y. That's good. Clicks for single, for double click. I actually didn't know about that either. I didn't. Wouldn't it just be two separate events? That's kind of cool. I didn't know that you could do that. But I wonder how stable that is, or like how common that is. I've never seen that. Oh, the state is pressed or released, and the button index, mouse button index. That's what we need. We need to know what the is it. Is it down and which button? But I think we should also keep this. We don't want to keep some global mouse state. So we do, I'm just going to leave X and Y there. We care if it is pressed, is down, is pressed. Let's just make that a Boolean. They have like a flat, like up and down is an enum field. But I kind of like just using a Boolean here, right? Because there's not going to be a third magical state all of a sudden. I feel like it's pretty binary. It's pressed or it's not. If it gets more complicated, we can always come back. And we need buttons. We need like a, that's an event type. We're going to have to map from their button index to ours. OS mouse button. That seems really long. Is mouse like is this high enough level like a mouse button? It's not just in events. I guess it is almost just in events. Would it? I don't know if it'd map anywhere else that it deserves to be higher level than like. But God, that's pretty long. Let's just do this. And then what do we have? Mouse button. Yeah. Because then if we did that, then we have to do this. I'm not doing that. That's ridiculous. Left feels default. What, left, right, middle? Is that just me being old? Like from remembering without mice without middle, whereas left and right would be 1, 2, and then. I mean, that seems logical, really, but I feel like the order of importance goes like that, kind of left, right, middle. I'm gonna do that for now. You probably just see what the SDL does. What does SDL do? Type an index. Where's is it? Are they listed in here? What would it be called? Left? No. Mouse. Where? Where's the constants? What would it be called? You got it. What? There's no. The word mouse doesn't show up anywhere in here. Is this? What is ripgrap? That what? This can't be right. Oh, well, at least that makes sense. There's a mouse right there. Mouse. Is there a button? No. No. Now we got Vim and Emacs. That's we might not be able to get out of that. That sucks because you can't quit. Oh no, that's a real bummer. That doesn't happen very often. What did I do? Vim or VI? What was it? SDL? Did I not? Oh, less. It was less. Oh, what am I talking about? It's just less. I should be able to just get Q. I panicked a little too early. Um, I think. Oh, there it is. Um, just I don't know why this is so ridiculous. Like, sorry, I had to pause it. I feel like my phone rang and then pulled my headphones um, off the computer. So Yeah, I don't know why this is being such a pain. When I go in here, why can't I go to mouse? That's so crazy that when I come here, but then I did the rip. Is it because it was all symlinks? But yeah, why isn't it searching through there? Why isn't it finding that? Homebrew, I mean, it's right there. Button that's interesting. Anyway, let's move on. So, oh, they do one left, middle, right, actually. All right. Well, we're not going to. And what other buttons? Oh, they're doing masks in case you're doing. Can you do multiple? Oh, yeah, they are, huh? They're pushing that bit, shifting that over. And then it start with 0, so that's why they're. So you don't lose the first bit. I think we're going to keep it more simple for now. I don't care about all that magic. It just kind of feels gross. Not gross, but more robust than we need. Um, Mouse button down, mouse button up, button. No. Button. Oh, we need to have a map or just even a simple switch statement. Let's do this first, is pressed. And that can be event dot button dot state SDL pressed or release. So if the state is SDL pressed, then that is, oh, they call it pressed too. So instead of is down, oh, the button is down event, but is pressed. We combine these anyway, so I think that's fine. And can we just steal this and just say move to button? And their motion would be button. Okay, cool. We might create functions to like swap to switch, but I don't think we even need to do that right now. Like to switch between SDL stuff and our stuff, but we might say which button case button left. Is that right? That switch statement would get pissed off because we're not exhaustively testing the button. Did they not call it middle? STL button middle. Duplicate value 1. What? That might be just LSP wonking out. I'm gonna. Is that everything we need for this? Yeah, that's weird. Let's just kill that file. Handle the event to get this chilling out. I don't like that. I'm kind of like oh, is this why? Yeah, it just I'm not happy that this isn't trying to be exhaustive. There's not complaining about it. Is it because we're already in the switch statement? Let's just hmm, it's, let's make this little temporary helper function. We'll move over there, but we're going to call it event print, and it's going to take a const event t. Um, you know what? The same thing's happening. Oh no, we do. I was going to say. See here, it is complaining like properly, like what you would expect. So quit. We can do quit. Well, I guess we care about the position. The button. We can do string stuff later, but let's just do. No, this is not move. We have two more. That's obviously going to be too noisy, but here, then we can just do print, event print. So that's button one's pressed, released. Now pressed is button and is pressed are backwards. Is that code or just button and pressed? Oh yeah, that makes more sense. Anyway, we want to show the button first. So we're holding, released. Okay. Mm. Right now, everything has to be. Can I do this? If I do static line to line, I think you just put it in the header. We're only going to use it in that one place anyway. I don't even think I'm going to commit that for the time being. But we're going to hold on to it. All right. Why do we need you? I think we do. Oh. We're going to ignore that, but we do want mouse button, mouse. I don't think we need either of those, right? Yeah, that's print related. We don't care about that. Mouse button, mouse button. All right, let's just do one more before we call it a night. Yeah, I don't like this currently. So I'm just going to get it out of the way for a while. I have a feeling that I'm missing a couple pragmas. And we're just not including enough. We're going to test that in just a second. Is that it? Are we good? Yeah, let's just test that now. What are we going to do? We want to find type file here. Find source name. Headers. We don't really need that. That's just going to complain if you get a file names with spaces or tabs or things that aren't escaped that xargs would use. Instead, you could do the print 0 and yada yada. But so what we actually just want to do head. I don't know, 3. Just see the top 3. Really, 2 lines. Display. Yeah, really. Display. There you go. That would have become an issue eventually anyway, but since we haven't pushed any of this, we can do a fix up. That was for display, move display here. So we can come to this commit, stick it on there. And then now if we come back to this commit and look, that'll be part of it. Yeah. I mean, you can, that's just essentially a interactive rebase kind of, but like you pop everything off and you can amend that commit and do it again. You can do that with Git, but in Magit, it just makes it so easy that you do the effort, take the time to actually do it. Because it's only a couple keystrokes. All right. We got one more. Move, button, and wheel. Let's just get that done. What do we call it? Scroll? Wheel? I think wheels. People know. What does it have? What does it have? What's SDO going to give us? I'm still annoyed about this, though. Well, we're not getting. Is this a complaint? It's so weird that just this, like, they're enums. Am I? That's an enum. Why aren't the button, why isn't the button enum being exhaustive? It's a switch statement. That's going to really bug me. Yes, this one, same here. I don't know what data we're going to have here. It's so crazy. do it another time. Mouse wheel, mouse, split mouse, no. I'm not going to worry about the like natural scrolling and not right now. That's not interesting at all to me. We don't have any fields there. They call it a wheel. What do you got? I think, yeah, these are signs, so they're negative or positive, just depending on which way you scroll. I really only care about why. I don't know the last time I've scrolled. I guess you do with touch, but like on your phone and stuff, but not with a mouse. But we'll do X and Y. Oh, there's precise switch with floats and mouse X and Y. Oh, this is X and Y that scrolled. This is mouse position. And why? Let's use precise anyway. But mouse and precise. If we do it like this, these are X and Y for position right here. That makes sense. And for consistency, you would think that. But when people use mouse wheel, they're going to assume X and Y is scroll because, like, if you go, well, we said it's going to be a float. Scroll X, scroll Y. But I think that that is just an accident waiting to happen. What if, I mean, this really should be, but that's so, I really dislike that inconsistent. But what if we just, can we just rename them all? How does that look? I don't hate that actually. Since we have Clang format off, should we abuse it? How terrible is this? It's actually, I actually kind of like it because it's a union too, so it's kind of visualizes the biggest one. They're all going to take up the same amount of space. Is the biggest one. Mm. Yeah, I think you have to do this. If you just do X and Y, what is X and Y going to be for the wheel? Like you want it to be the scroll X and Y. That's the default. I mean, is that what it is in? Yeah, everybody uses SDL, and the X and Y is the amount scrolled. So it literally can't be. It has to be position. Um, I don't mind being explicit and not having X and Y directly, but if we're going to change, like naming it scroll and position, I like the consistency here too. Because if we're going to name this one position X Y, we're going to do it on all of them. All right, let's do it. And what we could do, if we want to get fancy, and I think we do, you don't belong here. So we could mouse move. Did that break? Ah, it did. The commit would put it under the other one. Let's try something else. This is totally pointless, but I'm just nerd snipe myself. So the reason I did this is because this mouse button. We can do that same commit thing. Stash those in the original commits. And then since we did that one first, we need to fix this. So now the original commits. Well, this this stupid spacing I was kind of joking around with will be in there, which will look dumb. Well, it'll line up with mouse button, but it comes first. That it's gonna look kind of stupid in the commit, but whatever. Again, literally doesn't matter. Motion move. That's why, yeah. We're gonna abort. It failed, so it just kind of put a fix up commit on top. But because I don't like to give up easy, let's try something. One more thing. We're gonna index or stash mouse. What is it? Right. Then we're gonna interactively rebase this. We're gonna switch the order of these commits. Yeah, it still won't work. I'm not gonna. You can fix it if you want, but yeah, it just gets messy. Doesn't happen that often, but pop that back off. So what do we have? We have the position. Let's add this. Position and the scroll. And I'm just going to do it just like position because it's XY. And that's already. Oh, that's because they're float. This, I'm calling it now. Yeah. Implicit conversion. So this is why you sometimes don't do, let me show you the flags, this conversion flag. No, it's not. Double promotion, sorry. Um, it warns you about when floats are promoted to a double because that's a double, that's a float. 64-bit versus 32-bit. But I think it's in varargs or something that you can't. When it's varargs, it's implicitly float goes to double. So that's happening here. These scroll X and Y are floats, and it's refusing to move forward because it's going to convert implicitly. So you have to do it manually or explicitly, I should say. May go away. So that's the annoying part, but I don't know if it happens anywhere else other than print. And a lot of times that is annoying, but I think it can save you in a ton of places where you don't want doubles. Um, it's not that big of a deal to get a double. I'm sure a million pieces of software do it, but we're in a small system. Well, it's a small, OS. We're trying to be constrained where we can. Um, I don't even know if we're going to be doing 32 or 64-bit OS, so we'll probably steer clear of 64-bit while we can. Let's just do our print. I don't even know what Oh, I never even set all the mouse wheel. I think this is precise 6. Do we want these all split up? I mean, I don't know why not. Why not let them breathe a little bit? Good call. That was wrong. Oh, that's why. That's not a freaking enum. It's a UNA. That's why it can't do. I think it should. Nah, it shouldn't warn, I guess, but I wish something would pop up so you could just insert false. Known. What is an unknown button? Let's just blow up if it happens. I'm actually okay with that. So Y, I'm scrolling down. It's negative, scrolling up, it's positive, left, negative, right, positive. Looks pretty good. And then wherever the mouse cursor is during the scroll, that's where, okay. Mouse wheel. Okay, that's, I think, enough for now. I don't know. I think we've been going for a while. Wait, why is that? That was old. Cache. I don't. What else do we have? Keys. Key maybe. Key press. No, because then you have key release, key press, and for these we're doing button. Just doing it is pressed. Maybe I don't know if that's still smart for keys or not, but there's. I'm gonna hold off on keys. I think that's one on its own because I had actually looked into this leading up to this because I remember it being an issue before. Because in there's the whole what do I call it, like dichotomy of the scan codes versus key sims, like the physical key numbers and then what they represent. And SDL uses they everybody has to deal with it. And I just want to think about it a little bit more since we can use what SDL is using because they actually use the same numbers as for their scan codes as the USB or the human interface. Is it human interface design, whatever it is, like the USB spec, I think it is. Those same numbers, so they're kind of universal. It's not like a SDL thing, but it could be nice if we're going to be building a real OS, and we would probably want to use what the hardware or the USB spec said anyway. So it might, I don't know, it might help us. We can just translate the keys we want straight over because they're using kind of a universal tool. But I need to do a little bit more research before I dive into it, so I don't just waste a whole video trying to figure it out. All right, that's it for today, for tonight. Peace. See you next time.